Good morning, Teresa Man. Today I'm going to be talking about insect bites and stings, but before we do that, I have a little reminder for parents about immunizations. State law and health regulations require students to be properly immunized and provide verification to attend school or daycare unless they are exempt. The health department and private health care providers are working together to immunize children. It is important that all children be immunized to reduce or eliminate vaccine-preventable diseases. Getting ready for school is often a pretty hectic time. Rather than wait until the last minute to get your child's immunization, the health department is suggesting that you get them done early. Now is a perfect time for immunizations. For those of you who have children or grandchildren that need immunizations, contact your private healthcare provider for your child's immunizations or come to the health department. You don't need an appointment. Immunizations are available Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11:30 and 1 to 4. We're located at 1238 Commercial Street, or call 660-438-2876 if you have questions. So let's get started on today's show. Today our topic comes from one of our listeners and covers various insect bites and stings and how to treat them. So Phil, I hope you're listening. We live in Missouri, and I don't have to tell you that there's lots of little creepy crawlers that bite and sting and in general make your life miserable for a few days. There's one particular nasty little insect in our yard that when I go out and work in the yard that gets me almost every time I'm out there, and he leaves a large welt that itches like crazy and drives me nuts for days. I haven't yet figured out which insect does this, but if I ever find the little critter, he's going to be a goner. Bugs bite or sting for two reasons. They need food, generally your blood, or they need to defend themselves. Regardless of the reason, if the bug is carrying a disease such as West Nile virus, yellow fever, or malaria, it can transmit the disease through the bug bite. Here are a few of the most common insects that we have in Missouri and that we deal with in this area, and I thought that you might like just a review of those. Of course, one is our mosquito and flea bites. Two common blood-sucking insects, fleas and mosquitoes, are drawn to similar environments. Fleas need warm-blooded hosts, that's pets or people, to survive. They like warm, moist conditions. Mosquitoes need water to survive, and they too like warm, moist conditions. Getting rid of standing water in your backyard, for instance, will help you get rid of most mosquitoes. Although most of the mosquito bites are just a nuisance, these insects can also spread West Nile virus, malaria, and yellow fever. So if you get a mosquito bite and it doesn't go away, you might want to see your doctor. Treating a mosquito and flea bites, if you just add a tablespoon of bleach to a quart of water, dampen a rag with the solution, and cover the bite for 10 minutes, it will generally relieve the itching and the swelling that goes along with those. Petroleum jelly or calamine lotion will also help. Second comes the chigger. I had forgotten what a nuisance chiggers can be until I moved back to Missouri. A chigger can be quite a nuisance for its size. Did you know it measures less than 1/150th of an inch across and is difficult to see with the naked eye? Found generally in rural areas during warm weather, chiggers usually aren't looking for humans, but they're more than happy to bite people when the opportunity arises. So if you're going to go outdoors, I've been putting on some off spray, and that seems to keep the little darlings at bay. Treating chigger bites, you can ease the itch with a hydrocortisone cream is best for chiggers. The next we have are bees and wasps. Both bees and wasps sting to defend themselves or their territory. The location of bees or wasp nests vary by species. They may be in the ground, and for those of you that have gardens, you may find them in the garden because they're nesting there, and they are particularly nasty. Or they may be tucked up under the eaves of your home, even in a swing set in the backyard. For most people, a bee or wasp sting simply hurts. For those of you who have a severe allergic reaction to bee or wasp venom, it can be a life-threatening experience. People with this level of allergy generally need to carry a prescription auto-infecting or injecting pen in order to counter the reaction of the bee sting or wasp sting. And allergists can evaluate your degree of sensitivity to bee and wasp and outline a course of action in the event of a sting. For the rest of us, for a slight reaction, you can ease symptoms such as itching and swelling with a topical steroid. Ice generally helps, or even a little meat tenderizer. Let's take a break here, Tracerman, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the other insects to be aware of. Continuing our discussion on insect bites and stings, let's talk about bed bugs. Bed bugs have been around for a long time, but judging by the nightly news, bed bugs are now a widespread nuisance in the United States. Though small, they are easy to see and have a reddish oval body. They look somewhat like a small cockroach. Bed bugs often live between your mattress and box springs, a perfect environment since they like quiet and fabric. They bite humans because they feed on blood. Fortunately, they aren't known to infect people with any disease. Signs of bed bug bites are raised red, itchy bumps and welts. Bed bug bites will go away by themselves, but you can take steps to relieve the itch. A topical cream or a calamine lotion will generally help with that. However, the big picture is that until you get rid of the bed bug infestation, you will continue to experience bites. And getting rid of bed bugs is not an easy thing to do. You have to get rid of mattresses and a number of things. The next insect that creates some havoc for us are spider bites. Spiders bite and then they run away. They're basically shy insects. They bite for no other reason than to defend themselves. Relatively few species, or few spiders, pose a threat to humans. Of those that do, one type, the brown recluse spider, is often found in corners and attics of homes. And we do have brown recluses in Missouri. Two other types of venomous spiders found in the United States and in Missouri are black widows and hobo spiders. Like all spiders, they are shy and will usually only bite if provoked. Most spider bites resemble a target or a bullseye. A spider bite can be painful, and you may notice an itchy red rash appears on your legs and arms or your torso over the first couple of days after you've been bitten. Other spider bite symptoms could include headache, nausea, fever, and joint and muscle pain. However, most spider bite wounds just need to be kept clean to avoid an infection setting in. And finally, we have tick bites. Ticks are not technically insects. They are considered to be arachnids, which is more aligned with a spider. However, like mosquitoes, they can carry and spread disease. Ticks feed on blood, and because they are so small, until they become engorged, of course, with blood, then several days might pass before you notice a tick on yourself or on your pet. Ticks that feed on people and animals are typically called hard ticks, which means they have a hard shell behind their mouth parts. Hard ticks include the tiny deer tick that carries Lyme disease. An adult deer tick is only about the size of a sesame seed, so they're really pretty small. In treating tick bites, ticks can spread Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and other diseases. If you are bitten by a tick carrying a disease and you are infected, you'll feel achy, feverish, and maybe have the chills or develop a rash. The sooner you can get treated with antibiotics, the better your chances are of avoiding the long-term effects of any disease. Keep in mind that you don't have to find a tick still attached to you to have been bitten. If you're lucky enough to catch the tick in the act, the best way to get it out is with tweezers. Put the tweezers as close to the skin as possible and pull straight out. It's vital to remove the entire tick, mouth and all, in order to avoid problems. So as you can see, Missouri has this number of insects that bite and or sting and can cause a variety of concerns. Now that we know a little bit more about some of them, I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm going to try avoiding most of these critters. So I think that that's all we have for today. However, I think we still have a few minutes of time. And so I think we might have time for a little joke today. We haven't done one for a few months. And so here goes. Do you believe in life after death? The boss asked one of his employees. Yes, sir, the clerk replied. That's good, the boss says. After you left early yesterday to go to your grandmother's funeral, she stopped by to see you. Until next week, be happy and stay healthy.